Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new speedrun. In this speedrun I will be teaching you the Queen's Gambit. Besides being known for being a great Netflix series, the Queen's Gambit is also a very good chess opening. So we're going to start out our games with the move 1d4, and against pretty much everything that black does we are going to follow up with the move c4. So you will not only learn how to take on the Queen's Gambit, but you will also learn how to play against openings such as the King's Indian, which can arise after g6 and bishop g7, the Grunfeld, which happens in case black plays d5 here, or openings such as the Nim's Indian, which arises after e6 and bishop to b4. I hope all of you will learn a lot from it, and I also hope that you will enjoy this speedrun. Let's get started. Alright, okay, so we're getting white. Let's go 1d4. d5, and with white we have been playing the Queen's Gambit. Okay, let's see what he's going to do. He goes e5, the Albin Countergambit. Now here we just take the pawn on e5. He's going to go d4, and what's going to be really interesting is that we'll be facing more legitimate openings as we go along. So d4, I think the best move is knight f3, hitting the pawn. Knight c6, and I think a3 is a good move here, stopping bishop b4. So let's go ahead and go a3. Let's see what he's going to do. Goes bishop g4, okay. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I need to brush up on my theory here. Now let's see. Could go knight bd2, bishop f4 is an option, but maybe he goes here. I like to think that this is okay. Let's go here. I think it's okay. I guess I'll have to brush up on, like I said, on my theory. All right, let's see what he's gonna do. All right, he goes knight e7, makes a lot of sense, aiming to follow with knight g6. Okay, I think I'll go h3, getting the bishop. Probably has to, he goes here, but now he can never go knight g6, because then I can always go g4. So I can go g4 here, but I'm not in a rush. I think I'm gonna go b4. Because I have the idea to go b5, but also bishop b2. He goes knight g6, but I don't know if I'm missing anything, but I think this is a big mistake. Because here we can go g4, and we just trap the bishop. Now, we have to be careful. If he had a queen on e7, this would have actually been fine. Because then he could have taken, and then he would have had a checkmate. But he doesn't. He takes. Okay, I can take. I don't have to though. I can also just take here. So let's delay the trade for now. Let's just take here. I think he will try queen e7. I think he will try to go for the cheese. Oh, he takes. Okay, just recapture. This makes my development a lot easier. Let's see what he's going to do. But yeah, now we're just up a piece. So, okay, we still need to be careful. But we're just winning now. Okay, let's see what he's going to do. He goes queen f6, perhaps aiming at d3. You know what, I can just develop this bishop with tempo. So let's do it. All right, let's see what he's going to do. This thing is so annoying. Okay, well, since I'm up a piece, I'm just going to offer the trade, because in the end game, it's definitely going to be easier to convert my extra piece advantage. He goes back, but I can just push him away. I can get a check. Let's just go b5, hit the knight. Hello, Hall of Fame Glazer. Thank you. You're so tough, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hello, Hall of Fame Glazer. Right, knight e7. Okay, but I can just take. It's a pawn. Yo, 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 it's yo, yo. It's too funny, yo. Alright, he goes there. I'll just go bishop g2. Develop my bishop. Oh, no. Alright, let's see what he's gonna do. Alright, h6, hitting my bishop. I can move the bishop really anywhere. Let's go here. I hide this pawn over here. Okay, obviously every single move is winning as we're up a piece. What happened to Prago at the World Cup? You lost to Dupe Ball. Thoughts? Alright, let's offer the trade. Let's go queen e5. Dubov beat him in a tiebreak. Yeah, Dubov is a tough cookie. Queen c2. Alright, let's just get castled. Make sure nothing bad can ever happen. Okay, great to hear that, Ola. Happy to hear you're enjoying the speedrun. Okay, he takes. But now, let's just bring more pieces into the game with tempo. Let's go here, hitting the queen, hitting that. Oh, missed that move. Queen takes e2. E7, yeah, missed that move. All right, well, completely missed queen takes e2. All right, nice win. Okay, so let's have a look. So he played the Albin Countergambit. All right, so c4, e5. Yeah, we should take. Knight f3. Knight b2 is a move. a3 is fine. He goes here. Knight b2 is good. h3 is good. Right, so I was wondering about this and knight g6. But the computer says e6 takes in g3 and white's much better. I mean, I guess black really has stinky light squares here. Alright, anyway, he played bishop h5, but this is not a good move, because now he cannot go here, because that g4 traps his bishop. He did this, but now g4, he'd lose the bishop, and the rest was pretty simple. We just bring our pieces out, take a pawn, get developed, and yeah, if you're up a piece, you just have to bring your piece into the game, and the game really should just win itself. Yeah, no, but I can move this f rook here. Like I have there's the open f file and the open c file. So that's why to my eye, rook ac1 makes more sense. Right, but I would think if you have an open d file and a open c file, you want to bring the a rook to the c file. So I hope that makes sense. But like I said, of course, everything is winning. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next game. We're going to push for 15-15. All right, we're playing with white. Let's go 1d4. Okay, g6. Now, we can go c4, but against the modern, I also like going e4. And I'll teach you guys a nice setup. I like knight f3. He's probably going to go d6, I assume. Okay, d5. But d5 we just take. Black is going to have to recapture, and then we can develop with tempo. Let's go knight c3. Now we should be doing pretty well. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, queen a5. Okay. I can go bishop c4, bishop d2, but also an option. But I think I'll go bishop c4, just developing my bishop to an active square. Thank you to Seagulls for the prime. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks so much. All right, let's go castles. Yes, guys, check if you have a Twitch Prime available. If you do, this is a good place to throw it in. Okay, I like bishop d2 because we're really setting up some cheese. This would almost win. But he still has here. I mean, we go in a pawn. But I don't know if it wins the game. I mean, we have bishop e3. And we win a rook. Alright, queen b6, but queen b6 is a massive mistake. What do we do here? What do we do here? Why to play? Let's see who is paying attention. We were already looking at the queen. The queen was running out of squares. And now he's got himself into a peculiar position. Indeed. We go knight a4 and the queen is simply trapped. So all of these squares are taken away. Good job everyone. And we simply win the game. So you see, we just simply punished his opening. He played the modern, but if your opponent doesn't put a pawn in the middle, we can often put 2 pawns in the middle. Alright, so knight f3. Now, the main move is d6, and then I like the setup with bishop c4. But generally speaking, if your opponent goes d5 in the opening, and he cannot recapture with a pawn, like let's say he plays the Scandi move 1, I recommend that you just take, because often it means that he's going to have to recapture with his queen, and then you can develop a tempo. He goes here. This is generally going to be the most active square for your bishop against the Scandinavian. He goes here. We just get castled, and now bishop d2, and his queen is in a tough spot. My idea was to meet castles with knight e5, and his queen is running out of good squares. For example, if he goes here, I wanted to go bishop e3, hitting it again, and if he goes here, I can take with the double attack, winning a full rook. But he goes queen b6, trying to step out of it, but now knight e4. His queen is getting trapped anyway, and so we simply win the game. All right, so nice stuff. All right, let's go on d4. e6, okay. So here we go c4. Okay, he goes d5, turning it into a queen's gambit decline. And now I recommend knight c3 to go back into the queen's gambit to put more pressure. Okay, he goes knight f6, and what I recommend here is that now we do take. Oh. Is that a compliment, Rising Ninja? Or not? Okay, he takes, but now we go e4. Alright, he takes. Let's recapture. Now we have a big center. Black really should play c5. I'm somewhat surprised that people don't do it. Goes bishop e7. Okay, let's just continue with knight f3. And let's see. He goes knight e7. Okay, he's not putting any pressure on my center. Let's go bishop d3. Develop the bishop. And now... okay, I'm again tempted to go e5. I want to attack. Okay, go c5, but it's a little late. Let's go h4. Who knows what we're cooking? This move is for Rising Ninja. Let's cook. What do we do here? What do we do here? Why to play? Let's... yes. I'm feeling like eating some tzatziki. Feeling like eating some gyro. Pita gyro. Yes, gotta go for this. So here you channel your inner Greek god. Gotta go for this. Bishop takes h7, knight g5. Check. Greek gift. Oh yeah. Alright, but he's in check and he's simply getting checkmated here. He takes, we can recapture, open up the h-file. Oh yeah. That's why we played h4, and he is how do I phrase this? He's okay, he goes there, but now he is getting clapped. Alright, well, just check. He's gonna have to go king up. And now there's plenty of ways to finish this off. I could go back, but the easiest is just check. Forcing his king into the middle of the board. Alright, and now... well, he had queen g5, Hall of Fame Glazer. But now we just go queen f3. And yeah, that was a rough pounding for our opponent. Alright, so let's analyze the game. Okay, so it started as a Queen's Gambit decline. Now, this move, knight takes d5, is fine, but he has to know what he's doing. This is fine, because he can take on c3. Alright, he takes... apparently Queen g4 is a nice move. But yeah, we get the big center. Now, if you give your opponent the big center, you have to know how to attack it. And like I said, he had to go c5. But he did not. And now, if you have the big center, you can often transform that into an attack. And we did that here. You put the bishop here, and e5. And already here, we're really looking at these ideas. c5, h4. And here, all the alarm bells should go off in his head. Bishop takes h7 is a massive threat. But he missed it. Bishop takes h7, GG. He has to go king h8. After this, he's simply getting checkmated pretty much. Check. And the problem is that if he goes back, we go queen h5. And we're threatening checkmate. Because this does not help at all. We just take, and the h file is opened. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Whenever you are considering a Greek gift, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Whether the following ingredients are in place. Well, first of all, can you sacrifice a bishop on h7? Yes. Alright, that ingredient is in place. Now, after your opponent takes, then the question is, can you follow up with a move like queen h5 or knight g5? And here the answer is yes. Then you should also ask yourself, well, can that knight be taken? Right? It can, but it doesn't solve his problems, because as we see, the h opens up and he's still getting checkmated. And then you should also ask yourself, after he goes king g8 and we go queen h5, can our opponent defend the h7 square? Let's say this pawn was not here and his knight was on d7 and he would have had knight f6, then none of this would have worked. Or let's say the e pawn was not there, he would have had bishop f5, and it also would not have worked. Or let's say this d pawn magically was not there in that queen d3, it would not have worked. But none of that is in place, so queen h5, he's simply getting checkmated. Because also, by the way, if he goes f5, trying to create an escape route, we just go g6, and it's simply gonna be checkmate. All right, so that was a very nice game where we transformed our center into an attack and absolutely moked him with the Greek gift. All right, let's move on to the next game. Okay, we get white once again. Let's go 1d4. Not Lamar, we're doing a speedrun, so I'm just playing the pool. So he plays the Englund Gambit, not good opening. We simply take. All right, he goes knight c6, hitting the pawn. We just defend it with knight f3. He's going to go queen e7. But we just go bishop f4, hanging on to the pawn. This is the best move. He gives a check and attacks my bishop, but I can just deal with both. Bishop d2. He's going to take, but now just knight c3, saving the rook. Have I ever Greek gifted OTB? I'm sure I did, but I cannot think of a game right now. Okay, knight b4, so he's hitting this, but I'm assuming I just go knight d4 to defend. Okay, c5, hitting my horse. But I think I have this nice in-between move, rook b1, hitting his queen. He goes there. Alright. My knight's under attack. Let's go here and create a counter threat. Hit his queen. He's already getting moked here. He goes there. Let's go ahead and kick this horse away. Let's go a3. Kick the knight. Let's see what he's going to do. Alright, he goes knight c6, but now we can unleash something nasty. We're just going knight d5, hitting the queen, and we're threatening to slide in with one of these knights. And that is gonna hurt. That is gonna hurt. Yup. Well, the opening is just bad. Risen Ninja. The opening is just bad. Alright, well, then you came to a great place, Ryzen Ninja. Alright, Queen A4, a good move, though. Alright, but yeah, indeed. Knight C7 is just taking him on a one-way trip to Pound Town. Let's give this check. See what he's going to do. Okay, he has to go King D8, only legal move. And let's go ahead and take the rook. Alright, he goes D6. But I think I'm simply going to take that, because this open D-file will definitely come in handy. Alright, and let's go E3. So now I can bring out the other bishop as well. This one might... Okay, he takes. But I think his queen is simply getting trapped here. As I go here, I hit his queen. And he cannot go to a lot of squares. I mean, he only can go here, but now bishop c3 simply traps his queen. So he can say goodbye to his queen, and that's going to be it. I mean, all the squares are covered. So it's just GG. I think he's going to resign. Let's see. All right, he takes. All right, let's just recapture. Okay, let's take that as well. And let's take this. I think now he's going to resign. Because it's going to be checkmate in the next couple of moves. How do you get my aura? It's not easy. Alright. Okay. Checkmate. Okay, good stuff. We win another nice game. Alright, e5. Okay, we just take. Here, we defend. Queen e7. Wait, what? Okay, but yeah, he gives a check here, and yeah, this line is just bad. Go here, night vision. We're just doing a speed run. Alright, so we go here. He goes knight b4, hitting this, but I just defended with knight d4. And again, this queen is not in a good spot. He goes here, but now a very important move. I do not move the knight, because then he gets this, but I go rook b1. Very important in between moves. The microwave is here, by the way. There is a microwave here. I don't know if you guys deserve it. He goes here. I go here. Hit the queen. He goes here. Hitting knight. Notice how almost all of my moves come with tempo. That is how you push and pound your opponent around. You know, that's how you create one threat after another until he cannot defend. Bishop b4, also not a good move. Rising Ninja. Bishop b4, we go rook b1. And then let's say goes queen a3, we go knight e5. Takes, and this is just really bad for black. Does that make sense? Risen Ninja? Alright, anyway, he goes knight b4. Alright, so we go here. Knight here, a3, hitting the knight. And now knight e5, and that's simply it. We're hitting the queen. This is going to come. Goes here. Okay, we just collect the rook. Alright, I took. e3, aiming to get the other bishop into the game as well. Well, I don't know. That is a good question. I don't know who... Okay, with bishop c3, now we win the queen, and that's it. Okay, he takes, and yeah, it's just game over. The rest wasn't too difficult, and we got the checkmate. Okay, good stuff. Alright, let's start with the next game. If we win this one, we will cross... Dude, I get white again? Let's go d4. If we win this one, we cross 1550. Okay, let's do the Queen's Gambit once again. Okay, he takes now. e4 is definitely the most ambitious. Let's go e4 and try to regain the pawn. Let's see what he's gonna do. Because this is the whole point of the Queen's Gambit. To gambit the pawn, but to get it back later and have the full center. e5 is a good move. That's one of the best moves. Let's now, to be fair, in my own like serious games, I usually don't go e4. I usually play knight f3. He goes e5. Let's go knight f3 here. Thank you, night vision. All right, he takes. Let's go ahead and take here. We're down a pawn, but we have a nice lead in development. He goes there, but I don't think that's a good move. That is not a good move. We have a couple of nice options. I can do this, hitting this and this. That looks pretty nasty. I can also do this. No, wait, sorry, what am I saying? Not here because it's not, you know, mate or anything, but I could also do this, and then here, and then take. That looks pretty, I'm not interested in this, but this I definitely am interested in. Yes, you may. I don't know. I'm gonna do this, so let's go ahead and take. Hello, it's Mr. Skychess. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Alright, he takes. Let's go knight e5 check. Alright, he goes back, but now let's just go ahead and take. Alright, knight f6, but we just check. He's got one move here to stay in the game and not lose right away. And get banished to the Shadow Realm. Oh, no. Alright, he goes queen e7, but here we can win a rook. How can we win a rook? Let's see who's paying attention. We've got a 1, 2, 3 move combo. Check. Not taken here. Yeah, we take here. He's got a recapture. And now we take him to Fork Town, winning the rook. Yup. Alright, good stuff, everyone. Alright, he takes. But, okay, we'll try to use the open e-file. Alright, he goes there. Let's throw in a check. No pot. He goes there. Let's go bishop f4. I definitely want to take at some point, followed by knight f7. Alright, I don't have to take yet though, but at some point I definitely want to make sure I save the knight. Let's go 92, but at some point I'll definitely take in here. Because here he's threatening to take the knight, but I can... Oh, no, Mafia attack, I slipped. Alright, well, at least I can still... That's annoying. Throw the bishop back. That's a massive Mafia attack. Excuse me. This, and that, you know. Alright. Okay, anyway, let's see what we're gonna do. He's turning the fork. Dude, it's actually kind of annoying. After that mouse slip, it's actually kind of a game now. Alright, but let's go ahead and take. It's okay, Clowny Man. Okay. Let's see. Can I keep the material somehow? I actually can't. I'm gonna have to give something back. But we'll still be up a pawn with a good position. By the way, question for everyone in the chat. I just wanted to ask, does any of you guys by any chance have my Porsche, the latest one? If so, I'd be happy. Yeah, let me know. What, are you good? Yeah, I'm good. I just made a mouse flip. It was really unfortunate. Okay, he takes, but now we just take, and we're going to win more material, and so the game is going to be over anyway. Now the game is over. All right, good stuff. We get the win. Okay, so let's have a look. This line e5 is a little bit tricky. So he goes for the Queen's Gambit, accepted. All right, here. Takes, I take. G4. Bishop G4 is just a bad move. Queen B3 is winning, also takes. Queen B3 apparently the best. This apparently is the best. Interesting. But this is also, of course, very good. Here. And here he's almost losing. I mean, 97 only moved the kind of... I mean, he's kind of losing. He goes here, but now just check. Take, and we win a rook. Right here. Castles. Check. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I played bishop f4 to at some point take, but then I mouse slipped. Like I was going to do this, but I mouse slipped. Alright, because now he takes. But okay, we're still winning as we're up in exchange. But, okay, the thing is after knight c2, he wins some material back, but we're still winning with this majority over here. It's here, and now, yeah, we're going to win even more stuff. And so he just resigned. Alright, so nice win there. We crossed 15-15. Alright, we're playing with white. And with white, we have been playing d4. Hello, Rami B. Great to see you, knight f6. And we're going to do a Queen's Gambit speedrun. So we're going to follow up with c4. Let's see what he's going to do. And he goes d6. Okay, so with d6, he probably wants to go e5. Okay, great here, workshop. He wants to go e5. Now, what I recommend here is that we stop e5 with the move knight f3. So let's go ahead and do that here. g6. Okay, so he's turning this into the King's Indian. There's a couple of things we can do. We can go for the fianchetto. I often play the fianchetto myself. I really like playing it. But perhaps for the purposes of this speedrun, let's go knight c3, because I want to try to stick to a setup with d4, c4, and knight c3 as much as possible. So let's also go knight c3 here. And let's try to build a big center with the move e4. Pretty typical King's Indian stuff here. He castles. Let's go bishop e2. This is the classical setup. Knight c6, okay. The main move is e5. Knight c6 does allow d5, but I'm just going to continue my development with castles. Okay, e5 played, putting pressure in the center. Let's go d5. Hit the knight. The knight has to move, and he goes knight e7. All right, so here there are some options. I can move my knight. Black is going to do the same, and then try to break with f5. But I also really like this move b4, the bayonet attack. a6 is really a useless move, because what black should do... Here's the thing. I have more space on the queen side because of my most forward pawn, this pawn on d5. And that's where I'm going to attack. That's where I'm going to play. Black should not push any pawns on that side of the board, because that's only going to help me later on with my play on the queen side. Black should instead move this knight and get the f5 break in. That is really instrumental for their counterplay on that side of the board. Okay, nice, J-Will. So I'm going to go a4. I'm going to continue pushing on the queen side. This move might not seem the most useful, but we'll see the point very soon. He goes knight e8. And now I like this move, bishop a3. Okay. Well, we'll check later. Okay, he goes f5, putting some pressure. For the moment, this is protected. I don't have to respond if I don't want to. I think I can just go c5. If he takes, I think I can get away with here. Maybe here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's go c5. I want to put some pressure on that d6 point. Okay, he can take, I can recapture, but I can also move my knight and recapture that way. Yeah, b4 is one of the top theoretical lines. So you will not see that a whole lot at a 1500 level. Okay, he goes f4 in pretty typical King's Indian fashion, but it's going to be hard for him to push all of these pawns, because I have not played f2, f3 yet. My bishop and queen will control these squares. I do want my knight over here, so I do increase the pressure on the on the pawn on d6. So I'm going to go here and here. Let's go knight e2. This is a pretty typical plan in the King's Indian. Let's see what he's going to do. Rook f6, bishop f8. Yeah, that is definitely a plan. Rook f6 and bishop f8. Yeah, that's definitely a nice plan to add some support over here. But if he plays those moves, still the question is how is he gonna attack? He goes g5. Now for the moment, g4 is not an issue because I covered that square. So I'm gonna go knight c4. Once again, since I have not played f3, it's hard for him to go g4. It's hard for him to go h5. All of that is covered. So he's probably tempted to bring the knight out. He goes knight g6. But now I can really try to do some damage. Maybe b5 is a nice move. And then perhaps b6 as well. Let's go b5. Once again, my plan is to push on a queen side and do some damage on that side of the board. Okay, he can take. I can recapture with my knight. Increase the pressure over here. He goes a5. But here I think we have a really nice move to smash Black's pawn structure on the queen side. Does anyone have any ideas? How can we destroy Black's pawn structure? Because Black has this pawn chain, right? But we can destroy it here. Does anyone see how? What move do we have here? And this move is going to tear apart their structure. It's a very nice move. How? And I'll give you guys a hint. Often, you want to attack a pawn chain at its base. So, indeed, very good, everyone. We go pawn to b6. If the c7 pawn drops, this is going to drop. Excellent. So now, we're putting some great pressure on that d6 point. And keep in mind, like, Black has barely started an attack on the king side, whereas we are already crushing them on the queen side. So, I think this is a great line to play against the King's Indian. Okay, he takes over here. I can recapture. I can also take here. If he recaptures, then maybe d6 or knight b5. All of that looks pretty nasty. If I take here, rook f7, I guess. And then if I take, he takes. And my bishop is hanging. So I'm going to take here first. Let's see what he's going to do. Now a lot of moves are coming with tempo. He recaptures. d6 is an option. But I think I like knight b5 better. Let's go knight b5. Another nice move, jumping the knight forward. Hitting a bunch of stuff. Hello, Brandon the Bully. Yes, I am busy. I would have played, but I'm actually busy. So I'm sorry. All right, queen e7. Good move defending this. Okay, I can go knight b6. I can go d6. Lots of good options here. I like knight b6 best, I think. If he goes here, then d6. Everything is just coming in with tempo. Hello, Eastside. Fantastic to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. But he can go here. No, but then I take. What am I saying? Okay, let's go knight b6. We're hitting this. We're hitting this. Supporting d6 to d7 as well. And we're just really dismantling the King's Indian here. We're dismantling the King's Indian. Okay, let's see what he's going to do. Okay, he goes rook there. I'm not too interested in taking. Let's go d6. Hitting the queen. Hitting this. And I feel like it's falling apart. If he goes here, here, he can take. Can maybe throw in this check. Take here. Lots of good options. I can also take here first. Bishop d7. It feels like we're very close to a knockout punch. Okay, he takes, but we can simply take that. I can take with the queen. I can take with the knight. I can also take here with the bishop. Everything looks absolutely crushing. But I'm going to take with the bishop, creating this pin over here. And we can simply take this knight on the next turn. And again, everything is collapsing. Hello, Evolve Yourself. Good to see you. Okay, nice, nice. Great to hear that. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the speedrun. Hope you guys are enjoying the course as well. The speedrun really is served to supplement the course, but also as a free way to learn if you don't want to buy the course. All right, so rook d8, but now we simply take the knight. Hello, Mitarchas, welcome. Okay, so queen e8. Okay, I can take, I mean, I'm still winning because I have so much material, but I don't have to. Bishop c4 looks pretty good as well, or queen b3. Lots of good options here, eh? I think I'm gonna go for this, and if here, then here. Let's throw in this check, because I want to get myself out of the pin so I can just take the rook for free. The course, unfortunately, is not on sale. It was on sale for Black Friday and then Cyber Monday, but it just got off sale. However, if you have a Chess.com Diamond membership, you can get it for 30% off. He goes here. Let's go bishop c4, hitting the bishop. Okay, he takes. Let's recapture with a check. It's like art. Thank you very much. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and take here. Now, he might have thought, like, okay, I'm down a rook, but at least the pounding is over. But guess what? The pounding is just beginning. Let's go here. Hit the queen, and we're aiming to go after his king as well. Oh, dang, sorry to hear that, east side. Dang. I hope you're holding up okay. Okay. Thank you, Jadu, for the 16 months. Okay, let's go ahead and give a check. What are you? Okay. The good news for him, though, is that he did not have to take that. He might have been worried about the checkmate, but his queen is covering that square. And actually, I did not have a good discovery, but I don't say no to a free queen. Okay, rook f8. Let's go ahead and take this pawn as well. Thank you so much, Jadub, for the 16 months. All right, here. Yeah, we have the best emotes here in the business, so that is a good reason to subscribe. Let's go g3. Not allow him any counterplay, even though he's down a queen. Okay, nice, Mitar. Right here that we're friends on chess.com. Okay, so let's have a look at this game. I think we really dismantled the King's Indian, but let's have a look. All right, so we start with d4, c4. With the move d6, our opponent is aiming to play e7, e5. So we can go knight f3, but then they go here. So we can also stop e5 by playing knight f3. Now he played g6, aiming to go for the King's Indian. Knight c3 here. And since we've now played this move, we can build the big center with e4. Castles, bishop e2. And okay, the main move here is e5, but knight c6 a move as well. Castles, and then e5. Now, the reason why I don't recommend the King's Indian for beginners or intermediate players, although maybe for intermediate, is that it's a very difficult opening. The thing is, if you look at the pure King's Indian, let's say this, white has a lot of setups, and they're all quite critical. White can go knight f3, bishop e2. There's bishop e2, bishop e3. There's like h3, bishop e3. There's f3, followed by bishop e3. There's like bishop d3, knight g2. I don't know, bishop e2, bishop g5. Lots of different systems. Often black is gonna have to respond in different ways. And all of them put a lot of pressure on black. Like, the computer at face value is also giving white a plus 0.6 advantage. So, King's Indian, very difficult opening. No, the King's Indian attack is something white is an opening that white can play. It's more like if white, let's say, goes knight f3. Let's say white does this, so it goes for knight f3, g3, and then puts the bishop here, and then later goes for a setup with, let's say, d3, knight bd2, and e4. So it's kind of playing the reversed King's Indian. That's why it's called the King's Indian attack, not the King's Indian defense. But great question, great question. There's nothing. Well, evolve yourself, there's nothing bad about him getting e5 in. But for example, this endgame is not necessarily better for white, because c4 is not the most useful move. The king on d8 is actually not that unsafe at all, because black can often go c6, king c7. And as you can see, the engine already very slightly prefers black. So that's why it makes a lot of sense to just stop him from getting e5 in. Okay, so here we bring out the knight, e4, bishop e2, and then against the king is Indian. Also, this line with b4 is pretty critical. The point is that we're just gaining space, and we'll see how we can put pressure on black later on. The main moves here are knight h5, followed by f5. Then I can also jump to f4 or a5, breaking up our structure. But a6 honestly is a useless move. It doesn't do anything. Now here is the thing. We have more space on the king side. So that is where we're going to push forward. And that's why I played a4. Another reason is because I want to put this bishop here, so we can put a lot of pressure on that d6 point. Actually, the entire game, we were following this strategy. Let's have a look. Thank you, Zifo. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. So we go bishop a3, and then we go c5. And we can already see, for the moment, the bishop is covered behind these pawns. But we'll see the follow-ups. He goes here. And with f4, he's actually relinquishing his pressure on the center. And that really gives us a free hand to attack on the queen side. I play knight e2 and knight c4. So we're increasing the pressure over here. He goes here, and now b5. Our bishop is opening up, creating a lot of pressure on this pawn. a5. And here, a really nice move to remember. Like, if you play another move, like, let's say, rook c1, black can go b6, and white is much better, but it's not that easy to break through. However, here, b6 is absolutely crushing, because we completely demolish their pawn chain, and all our pieces are just gonna, you know, gonna swarm the black queen side. He took, and now a lot of moves came with tempo. We take here. He recaptured knight b5, hitting the queen. Here, knight b6, jumping in with tempo once again. d6. We just keep pushing forward. And we did not even have to take this knight right away. I took the bishop, because the knight is pinned. He's simply going to lose for free. He went here. I took. Give a check. It's kind of funny. The computer is actually saying that this is the best move, sacrificing the queen, because white's initiative is just so crushing. But not necessary. We're already up a piece. So I gave a check and went here, as now we simply went a full rook. And like I said, after 96, it is all just continuing. He had to go king g8 because there's no good discovery for my knight, but obviously we're completely winning as we're up a full rook, and now we're up a queen. So pretty nice game against the King is Indian. I'd say if you're looking for a good line against it, I'd say this should definitely serve as a starting point as to what you can do against the King's Indian. All right, Pierce defense. Yeah, the Pierce is actually quite similar to the King's Indian. The only difference is that black does not, or sorry, that white does not have the pawn on c4. Pierce is a very interesting opening. However, can also be difficult to learn because white can go for so many setups. Can I say Pierce defense if you get black? I want to get better. Sir Grandmaster. Wait, what? Can you? Well, with black, we have been playing the Accelerated Dragon. And I like the Accelerated Dragon better because we also go for the Fianchetto that you do in the Pierce. But you're not giving white the full center because we put that pawn on c5. So you still get the bishop on the long diagonal action, but you're not giving white the full center. So I think you might like the Accelerated Dragon better. But, you know, we'll see. All right, and we're getting white against Mr. Minister. Let's go to d4. And he goes knight f6. Okay, let's go to c4. And let's go knight c3. Okay, goes the King's Indian. Let's go e4. That's, of course, the whole point behind d4, c4, knight f3. Sorry, knight c3. Okay, he goes d6. Now let's go knight f3. Let's stick to the same system we played earlier. Let's go bishop e2 here, continue our development. What's the... he's playing the King's Indian against me. Okay, he goes c5. But I can just grab more space with d5. I can also allow him to take, but I'm just going to go d5. And now His pieces are a little bit cramped. Let's see what he's going to do. Okay, goes e6, typical move. Let's go ahead and castle. Okay, goes bishop d7, but that's really odd. Okay, I can go bishop f4. Lots of options here. Bishop f4 hits this. Can also take. Hmm. Okay, that's also possible, as Hannah said. Let's go bishop e3. I just continue my development. I can go here, but it should go here. You see here, this is why the king is in is such a difficult opening. I just have more space, and he's struggling to get his pieces out. He takes. I'll just recapture with the e-pawn. Let's see what he's going to do. The pawn on d6 can be quite weak, as I can also easily attack it. Okay, let's see what he's going to do. Okay, goes rook e8. This is sometimes an idea. Let's go bishop f4 to hit the pawn on d6. Okay, goes bishop f5. Let's go bishop d... Sorry, bishop d3. Trying to trade the bishops. Okay, goes knight e4. Can take that. It just takes. Can maybe take and knight b5. Might not be so terrible. Okay, no worries, ajedrez. Let's go ahead and take. He's going to recapture. Q1 is an option. He takes, maybe I take and take. And that is a little bit weak. Can also go here, bishop f8. Bishop f8 is of course awkward. Let's go rook e1. Hit the bishop. Okay, takes. Okay, we just have to recapture. Yes, I have the double pawns, but it's hard for him to develop his knight. He cannot quite go here. I do not like that move f5 at all. It weakens his position too much. It anchors in the bishop, but it also leaves behind some squares. As now I can go knight g5 and jump in here. And f3 to trap the bishop. Yeah, by the way, guys, it is Giving Tuesday. So please consider donating to the Daniel Naroditsky Memorial Fund. I would appreciate it if people do. I made a donation myself a while ago. It is to support a couple of initiatives. First of all, the Naroditsky Memorial Blitz and Rapid Championship and the Naroditsky Fellowship, which is a scholarship program supporting talented young chess players. Okay, queen f6. But this bishop over here can simply be trapped with the move f3. This bishop is simply gonna drop. Okay, goes h6, hitting the knight, but now I can just jump into the e6 square. And yeah, that bishop is simply gonna drop. Alright, takes. Let's just recapture. Take the rook. And his bishop is still under attack, so he's probably gonna move it, but then we can also take this pawn over here, and we're just absolutely crushing. We're up in exchange. His king is also, by the way, pretty weak. So bishop e5 is coming. We can push this pawn forward as well a little bit. And so we're going to get a nice win here. Okay, goes there. We'll just go. Let's just activate the other rook as well. Oh, the stream. Ah, really? Sorry about that. Okay, awesome. Awesome to hear that, Evolve Yourself. Yeah, I hope you guys have been having a great time. Like I said, this is going to be the last stream, last game of today's stream. We, by the way, still have to convert our advantage. But, you know what? We're feeling greedy. Let's go e7. Let's just offer the trade. Let's see what he's going to do. Hello, Johnny D. Okay, takes. Let's recapture with the rook. We're now hitting a lot of stuff. Goes knight b8. Okay, I can take. This is also an option. Let's just go ahead and pick up a couple of pawns. Let's take here. Okay, let's take here. Let's start pushing a little bit. Let's go h4. Or h pawn is a pass pawn now as well, so let's push that up the board. Okay, goes there. Let's go rook d6, I guess. And slow. Eventually, the problems are just going to be too much for him to handle. Okay, he's not really threatening to take as this pawn. Simply push the pawn. So let's go h5, h6. If you have passed pawns, often all you have to do is just push them. The one caveat, though, with that is that, yeah, you do want to make sure that you don't leave too many squares behind. But often it's as simple as that. If you have passed pawn, just push it up the board. Okay, takes. That's fine. We'll lose a pawn, but we get some trades in. Let's go h6. This pawn is now very close to promotion. Goes knight f6. Okay, if I take, he's just in time to stop it. But I go bishop g5. If he takes, I take, and then my pawn is going to promote. So let's go bishop g5. I give up the rook, but I get the knight, and now this pawn is simply going to be promoted, as he cannot stop it. Okay, so let's push. Queen. And the rest is going to be simple. Let's activate our king as well. Although we can also just use the queen to simply clean up everything. And let's go ahead and do that here. Let's go queen b8. Hit this and this. Okay, let's take another pawn. Alright, let's use our king as well to attack a few pawns. Okay, let's take another pawn. All right, okay, and we get another nice win. Okay, so this was another King's Indian, which, you know, King's Indian is a good opening, but you have to know how to play it. And c5 is honestly already risky. If you play the King's Indian, I recommend that you just play with e5, probably knight c6, but c5, I can, by the way, also let black take, and I think white's better in that structure, but I can also go d5 and grab more space. Now, this is fine, but bishop d7 is really odd. Black should just take as quickly as possible, And in this structure, I would say that black often has one piece too many. Black should then try to get rid of this bishop. Bishop g4 and just trade is an option. Or bishop f5 and knight e4. But bishop d7 is just really odd. So here, now black took. Still perhaps bishop g4 here was needed. Here I hit the pawn. Okay, bishop d3, knight e4, and I took, and rook e1, hitting the bishop. And okay, if he moves it, then I can take and I win the d6 pawn. So that's already a bit of an issue. So that's why he took. But now, first of all, the dark squares are kind of weak, and his knight is still having a hard time developing. Can I go here? I can go to a6, but it's also not on a great square there. He went here, but this weakens the position way too much. As I go here, his bishop can simply get trapped with f3, and knight e6 is an issue. He went here, I trapped the bishop, jumped in with the knight. He saved his bishop, but he's down in exchange, loses another pawn, and the rest was pretty simple. We activate the rook, force some trades, pick up a pawn, pick up another one, push the pawn, now push the pawn, and eventually, if you push the pawns, they're often gonna promote. You went here, bishop g5, and that is pretty much it. So we get a new queen, and the rest was pretty simple. Okay, so good stuff. We crossed 1600. Hope you guys have been enjoying the speedrun. Thank you, Etranya. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So we're gonna wrap up for today. Hope all of you guys enjoyed watching. Appreciate all the love and support from all of you guys.